This time on Low Boost, we replaced the scavenge pump on my E36 Turbo LS swap. I will always shoot you guys straight on the parts that I put on my car, especially my E36 Turbo LS swap. I made a video probably almost 2 years ago about the scavenge pump that I have on this car. And everybody was wondering how well it works and how long it's held up. Well, it's February 2023 and I think it went. It's either my scavenge pump or my turbo. I feel like it's a scavenge pump more though, because usually this, you could see it, there it is there. Usually the pump will quiet down when the car's on and oil's going through it. And this last time that I started this car up, you know, it's been cold out. There was smoke blowing out the back of the tailpipe and this thing was whining like a banshee, which leads me to believe there's no oil going through it. So it's either not able to pull the oil through or the oil is just going right through the seals in the turbo. I'm gonna make this video assuming that it's just a scavenge pump, and if it's not, I'm replacing the pump anyway, it's great. And if I need a new turbo, that's okay, I can do that too, not a huge deal, because my turbo is actually located right here, very easy to get to. But that being said, I probably put almost 7,500 miles on this pump, and it's lasted 20, 21, 22, 4 years. This pump has lasted 4 years for 80 bucks. If I got to replace this thing every 4 years, it's really not that bad of maintenance. So let's go over how I do it. You can see the turbo compressor housing here right underneath the car. There's the hot side. I actually run a custom-made scavenge tank right here. It's down into and then runs over, and then usually my pump is mounted right here and it runs lines through there. Now this line, this old cheap AN line is also leaking. Probably not a good thing. It didn't start leaking until I started taking it apart. So I'm just gonna replace that too while I'm at it. That goes like here to here. And then, so we're gonna I'll take the pigtail off of this scavenge pump and we'll put the new one on. And I also have AN lines to match it up all up through. I ran -10 for my scavenge pump. This episode is brought to you by these awesome wheel dollies. If you have a car, whether it's running or not, and you have limited garage space in your garage, definitely get these wheel dollies. You can push it up against a wall. You can move the car around anywhere, any which way you want. This is a 2,900 pound Mustang that I am moving around the garage with relative ease. And I'll put a link to this in the description below if you're interested in checking it out. And buying it through those links helps the channel a lot. We really appreciate it. Made in China to United States. I don't know what that means. But for another 80 some odd dollars on Amazon, this thing's worked great, because the likelihood of a scavenge pump failing before my turbo, I feel like that's higher, just because my turbo is really nice. It's a Borg Warner. These fittings come with it, but they're not the fittings that I use. I'm going to use the fittings that I have already, and we'll mount it up just like that. Like there. So cold in here that these things are already not even hot to touch. All right, so now that's on, I'm just gonna make another one of these because this one's leaking, so. I really would love to take this thing for a little test drive, but there is so much salt on the roads, this thing ain't leaving the driveway. But I did start it up and pull it out there, and then actually did fix my problem. So it wasn't my turbo, it was my scavenge pump. But all in all, 80 bucks out. If you guys want to get one of these things on Amazon, it lasted me over 7,500 miles. And I think the main reason it went was just because the cold weather might have seized it up and it didn't really just click itself over properly when I turned it on, and then it just, something must have broke inside. But if you live in an area that didn't see negative 15-degree temps for a couple of days, you're probably okay for a long time. I feel like this thing probably would have never failed on me if we didn't have like negative 10, 15-degree days here. So keep that in mind. All in all, great product. I replaced it with the exact same one that I had because I trust it at this point. And hopefully you guys do too. So if you want to grab one, I'll put a link to it in the description below. I always appreciate you guys buying stuff through there because that helps the channel out. And anytime I can share an experience that I have with parts like this, I'm going to do that for you guys. So make sure to hit the subscribe button if you're into that kind of stuff. I also have a full build series on this thing from the day that I bought it to pulling the engine out and watching this thing go super, super fast. So thank you guys very much for watching. In the meantime, check these videos out that I already have ready to go.